Welcome to this informative session for the 2021 Hardin County Community Endowment Foundation grant cycle. With today's COVID-19 environment, we felt this would be the best option for the informational sessions. You can return to this video at any time to review the information. So let's get started. At our home page, under the Grants tab, you will find the 2021 Grant Guidelines, Policies, and Application Forms. First, let's look at the 2021 Guidelines and Policies. As you begin your grant request, please keep these policies in mind. 1. To be eligible, you must be a tax-exempt nonprofit or governmental agency as classified by the IRS. If not, you will need to obtain a fiscal sponsor, and we will touch base on that later. 2. What we look for in the applications. As you review those topics, please keep them in mind as you're writing your proposal. What we fund. Here are the areas that we fund grants for. And finally, what we do not fund. Again, keep these items in mind as you're creating your grant. Next, we will look at the grant guidelines. These are more specific guidelines for the grant application this year. As you scroll down, please review the items, and as we get to the bullet points, keep in mind that the maximum grant request is $10,000, not to exceed 75% of your total project. For example, if your project cost is $1,000 in total, you may request up to $750 and receive $250 in donations from other sources. You may apply for a tidal wave grant, which is $10,001 up to $25,000, which significantly impacts a large portion of the county. For these applications to be considered, you must present at one of our monthly meetings your organization's project. Our next regularly scheduled meeting is November 19th, and we will have a meeting on January 21st. On the document itself is the location and times for the presentations. Also, if your grant is approved, it may be wholly or partially funded, depending on funds available. Additional grant requests are listed below. You may submit your application for a review by January 11th, 2021 to the email on the form. We will review grants that come in at that time and give you a completeness of additions or changes that need to be made by January 22nd, 2021 so that you have time to make corrections for the final deadline of February 5th, 2021. Next, if we go back, we're ready to look at the actual application and estimated budget. This year, we have revised the application form and converted it into a PDF fillable document for ease of completing and submitting. We strongly recommend that you download this document to your computer and save it first. Then you can fill in the blanks as you go along. Again, there's eligibility requirements on the application itself. You must be a tax-exempt organization, provide services in the county, and if you are not a tax-exempt organization, you must find a fiscal sponsor. As we look at the new actual form, it's been condensed and hopefully easier to fill out. Each block is fillable with information, so you can type in whatever project information you would like to. You put in the date that you're completing the form and continue on. As you get to the federal tax ID number, this will be your federal tax ID number if you are a nonprofit or a governmental agency. If not, please put in the tax ID number of your fiscal sponsor and list other as a fiscal sponsorship. Name and address for the contact person, your budget project total, the amount you are requesting from the foundation, and your estimated project start and completion times. Click if the project is a capital project or a program project. Capital projects are buildings or physical improvements to buildings. Programs would be anything else, equipment for a program or a program itself. Please determine which focus area the grant covers, and you can start then with a brief description of your organization. These boxes, as you continue down on the application, do have an unlimited character count. However, as you reach a certain character count, the fonts will change and become smaller and a little harder to read. On your brief description of the organization, the count on that box is 215 characters before the font will be reduced automatically. The description of your project, the character count is 420 before the font will be reduced. As you continue then, you can put the date again at the bottom of the completion of the form and have a signature applied. You can do it on an electronic signature if you have one available. If not, you will need to print the form off, sign it, and then scan it for submission. As you go down to the grant application questions themselves, again, each one of those is unlimited characters, but the font will start to reduce at approximately 400 to 410 characters. If you have more to write in those boxes, that is fine. We will read all applications. Just remember that the font will be reduced and it may be a little harder to read. The final page of the actual application is the estimated budget. We have set this up to automatically add for you. However, please do not enter any commas, dollar signs, or decimals. Just enter numbers. So for example, if you were requesting $5,000 from the foundation, please put in $5,000. As you tab down to the next line item, it will automatically add it down below. If you had individual contributions from another organization or from your members, you put in the $1,000 and continue down, and it will start adding it up for you. Please remember that the total income and the total expenses for the project must equal when you submit the form. Should you need to get a fiscal sponsor for your organization, if you are not a nonprofit, that form is also available on the website. As we look at that form, it is also a fillable PDF document. You would put in the fiscal sponsor's organization name and tax ID number, their contact person, and your project sponsored organization information. In most cases, if you're a city entity, for example, if you're the public library or the fire department, you would put in the city's information as your fiscal sponsor, and you would be the sponsoring organization and list your project name. Again, fill in the blanks as the form goes down. This one, you can go ahead and just type in your name in the signature line and also in the printed line. As we go back to the guidelines, a few reminders for the application itself. The grant applications must be submitted online to the endowhardenco@gmail email address that is in this document. If you've already downloaded the PDF forms, you can just save the files and attach them to the email. If you need to add additional forms, additional pictures, quotes, whatever, those items will need to be scanned into a file and also emailed. If you were looking for additional wording, you could set up a Word document and scan it and include it. In addition, we also still are asking for your organization's board members. So if you list your board members in a Word document and also attach that at the same time. It could be all on one Word document if you have additional wording you would like to express and put your board members' information on. It could be one document and attached. Applications must be submitted by 4 p.m. Friday, February 5th to be considered for funding. Also at the bottom of this page is contact information for our program director and for members of the Grant Advisory Board. If you have any questions, of having any problems, please contact Tam. She has a knowledge of information that she can help you with. Or you can contact any of the other members listed. We hope this is a great improvement to the grant application. By doing this, you no longer need to make 15 copies of your application and send the 15 copies in to us. You can send it all by email, electronically, in 1 or 2 or 3 files, and hopefully this will ease the burden on everyone in trying to get the applications completed in time. You may also review this video at any time on our website. We will have it on the website for the entire grant cycle. Thank you, and good luck with your applications.